So a while back, we took a look at these Japanese Disney cell phones that were sold between the late 2000s and early 2010s. And I mentioned in that video that Disney Mobile actually got its start right here in the US, though it was very short-lived compared to its Japanese counterpart. It only lasted for about 18 months, so finding some of the American Disney phones is a little bit tricky. But thanks to a viewer named Ryan Bennett who loaned me a couple of these, we're going to take a look at what it would have been like to use Disney Mobile in the US back in the mid to late 2000s. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So just as a refresher, or if you happen to miss my other Disney phones video, Disney Mobile had two components to it when it launched back in 2006. One was the handsets themselves, and the other was the actual network. Now, Disney did not have any physical network infrastructure of their own, but they opted to partner with Sprint to become a mobile virtual network operator, or MVNO, which basically meant that they could use Sprint network infrastructure for these phones. And the network was a very important aspect of Disney Mobile because these were not just cell phones with a Disney logo slapped on them. Yes, they did come with a bit of eye candy in the form of themes that you could apply, but the main selling point of the service was its parental controls and safety-focused features. Because Disney Mobile was designed to be used by kids in the preteen to teen age bracket. So parents had the ability to limit usage, track where the phone is, prevent calling to certain numbers, and even send priority messages that you'd have to acknowledge before being able to use the phone normally again. So to start things off, we're going to take a look at this cell phone right here, the Pantech DMP-100. This was one of the first, if not the first, phone to be offered on Disney Mobile. It was shown at the launch event in Las Vegas in April of 2006, and they began selling it for $59. But before the year was over, they were offering it for free on contract, and by 2007, they were throwing in free Disney movie tickets. So yeah, you can see that this whole thing wasn't doing as well as Disney had initially hoped, but people definitely purchased this thing, and if you were an early adopter of Disney Mobile, this is very well the phone that you would have ended up using. Now, the hardware itself, as you can see, is really nothing to write home about. It's a basic, chunky looking flip phone. It definitely really dates this thing, that's for sure, with Disney Mobile text added to the front and the back. You open it up here, you've got a pretty decent screen, it's not terrible, and you got your keypad down here. So it's not, the greatest phone in the world. I mean, and when you compare it to something like the Motorola Razr, I mean, it really just looks like something ancient. And these things began selling in 2004. Of course, they were more expensive. You weren't going to get free movie tickets with this phone, I can tell you that. But these things they were so popular, and there's a great reason for that. These were, they just looked really sleek, really futuristic, and they just kind of took the concept of a really chunky flip phone and made it something sleek and just really cool looking. But again, you weren't buying this for the hardware, you were buying this for the service that it ran on. Oh yeah, and it also has a big old chunky antenna right here on the top that even extends when you want to get that great cell reception to make a call. So yeah, again, the hardware itself, it's a pretty standard, basic looking phone. But if you had waited a little bit after Disney Mobile launched, you could opt to get this phone instead. This is the Samsung DMS-105, which was one of the first Samsung models to be offered on Disney Mobile, because yes, Disney did partner with a few different phone manufacturers when they were doing all this. It was released in April of 2007, and it sold for a price of $19.99 with a service plan. Yeah, 20 bucks could get you this phone. And again, this one here originally sold for $59 with a service plan. So again, you could see how Disney was trying to really incentivize people to buy these phones. Now, this phone was released alongside the Samsung DMS-110, which was essentially the same phone hardware-wise. The only difference was what color they came in and this star pattern you had here on the front, which is a little bit of Disney flair they added here as well, in addition to the logos. So you had two of these designs you could choose from when you were shopping for these phones. And you can see there's definitely some major design differences going on between these phones here. Of course, they're both flip phones, but this one pretty much has better hardware all around. It looks more modern, a lot more sleek. The preview screen here on the front is a little bit larger. It's also in color, which is definitely a nice upgrade. The main display is a little bit larger as well, and it just looks more vibrant. It's probably a higher resolution too. And the keypad here, you can see it's a much flatter, kind of sleeker design. So yeah, there's definitely some hardware changes going on between these two phones. But what you won't really find that's changed is the software, because all of these Disney phones ran essentially the same Java-based system. And that was by design, because Disney wanted you to have the same experience regardless of which phone that you use. And if you happen to upgrade from one to another, well, you probably wouldn't have done that very much, because again, these phones were only around for like 18 months. But you know, if you had upgraded, or if you had, you know, changed phones for whatever reason, you're going to expect the same experience. You'll be able to get access to all the same features. Everything was going to be relatively the same. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the software experience would have been like using these phones back in the mid-2000s. Alright, so as you've probably already guessed, with Disney Mobile being shut down for over a decade now, actually connecting these phones to the network to use any of those network-focused features is not possible. So, yeah, that is unfortunate, obviously, but we can still take a look at all of the stuff that would have come with these phones, and you know how everything is laid out in the operating system. So you can see here that when you first open up the phone, this is the screen that you get presented with. It just, in this case, is letting us know that we're searching for service, because it can't actually find anything. But normally this would display kind of like your, you know, home screen with your service status and all of that. These phones do run, obviously, a different version of this software. They're not exactly the same, because, you know, phone hardware differs depending on who manufactured it and what processor it has and all of that. So, you know, they're not exactly the same system, but they are both Java-based. And, you know, they've tried to generally make it the same on, like, all of these screens here. You know, you got the same options, you've got the same menus and everything. So the main menu, you've got contacts, you've got messaging, you've got family center, you've got entertainment, and you have toolbox. Now, I'm going to, for most of this video, be focusing on the Samsung phone here, just because the screen is better, and it just kind of shows up a little bit better here on video, but I will occasionally bring in the Pantech phone and show you when there's a difference to point out between these. So, the first couple options here, contacts and messaging, there's really nothing that differs, you know, this from a regular, you know, phone from around this time. You've got a list of contacts and you've got a list of messages. Nothing really special going on there. Where that begins is with Family Center here, because this is where you get access to Family Locator, Family Monitor, and Family Alert. These are some of the core features of Disney Mobile. So Family Locator is what allowed parents to track where their children's phones were at all times. Now, it's worth noting that Disney Mobile was not necessarily just designed for kids. It was definitely targeted at kids, but it was also targeted at parents as well. In fact, parents could use a Disney Mobile phone and, you know, use it to track where their kids' phones are. But because this phone was set up as a kid's phone, when we go into Family Locator here, it just says, Family Locator is only available for adults. This phone is assigned to a user under the age of 18 and can be located using GPS technology by adults on your Disney Mobile account. In fact, it actually says that on the back of the phone here. It's printed right at the bottom. So yeah, you would have to assign this phone, you know, each of the Disney Mobile handsets you had to adult or kid mode, depending on who was going to be using it. So yeah, it's neat that, you know, this was made for parents as well. This could be used as a regular phone without any of these restrictions. And speaking of restrictions, just kidding. So Family Monitor is where you could kind of get into the restrictive stuff. That doesn't sound great at all. This is where parents could limit, you know, how many phone calls that their kids could place, how many text messages they could send, even how many photos that they could take, and how many things they could download, like from the stores that are included on here. So, of course, with this being in kid mode, when we go in here, we just get this My Spending option, which is where you can view how much of everything that you've spent, so to speak. So we hit OK here, and we can view that we have 50 allowed voice calls. Apparently we've used 11, 25 text messages, we've used 3, 10 pictures, we've taken 0. This is an interesting one. I find limiting the amount of pictures that you can take, but they had that option in here. And downloads, we could spend $3. Now, I don't know if this is per month or like how it was. I would imagine it'd be per month, actually. So, you know, if you were a kid using this phone, you could go down and see, oh, I can spend $3 this month in the the, you know, ringtone store. Let me go ahead and spend all of that. Yeah, so that's what this was for. Our next option in here is Family Alert. Now, this is actually pretty cool. Family Alert was the feature that parents could use to send priority messages to their kids' phones. And that would, what I mean by priority is when you would open up the phone, before you could do anything, the message would show up and display, and you would have to acknowledge it before you could do anything else. But what's really cool is these messages didn't actually cost you anything to send and receive. So Ryan actually told me that his family all had Disney mobile phones back then, and they would use this Family Alert feature to send free text messages to each other, where it would normally cost them like 10 to 20 cents per message. So that's pretty huge. In fact, if we go in here, Ryan told me that there are some messages saved on here, and he said I could show them because there's no like personal info or anything in them. But if we go to alerts received, we can open this up. And here's a message from Paul at 5:27 p.m. on 11/9, probably November 9th. I don't know of what year, but he says, "I'm here." And we can reply and say maybe, we'll first send to Paul, yes. And let's say, okay. Not please. Okay. And we'll send. Of course, it won't actually do anything, but you know, that's how you would send messages to people using Family Alert. So there are a decent amount of alerts in here. If we scroll down, we got Marilyn, Paul, Marilyn, Joe. Let's see what Joe said on 8:54 p.m. on October 6th. Landed, good flight. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's just a cool feature. I mean, it probably wasn't really intended to be used that way. You know, it was meant for sending priority messages to your kids, but there's nothing stopping you from just using it as a regular text messaging client, because there was no limit, as far as I know, as to how many messages you could send. You also have quick alerts here, and that's that list that we saw where you've got like a bunch of stuff, you know, of like messages you would commonly send to people. So maybe you want to change okay to something else. You could edit that, or just delete it rather, and we'll say yes, we want to delete that, and it's been deleted. And now we can add a new one. Let's maybe just re-enter okay here. So let me use our glorious keypad here. There you go. We also have send alert, which is going to be that same screen. Like when we went to a reply to Paul, we got the same screen here. So you would add recipient. You can send it to more than one person as well. So you know, you could do that. No issues there. So yeah, definitely a really cool feature, and a neat story at kind of how it was used to just get free text messaging, which I think is really cool. So yeah, going back to Family Center, we also have call control, which is pretty self-explanatory. This would allow you as a parent to limit the allowed times that you could place calls and numbers that you were allowed to call. So my schedule here, again, with this being a kid's phone, is only going to allow us to view when we're allowed to make calls, which it can't do anything in this case. But we also have always on numbers, so you would definitely want to put, as a parent, you know, put your cell phone, your home phone in here so that you would always, you know, your kids would always be able to call those numbers, but all the other numbers would be restricted. And Shop Family is a store where you could buy additional stuff for Family Center. Of course, it doesn't actually work anymore, because, you know, the service has been shut down, but we can view this, or attempt to view this preview, but it will fail, obviously. But I think we can kind of sort of view the main landing page here. Recent buys is where all the stuff you recently purchased would show up. Spend that $3 wisely, kids. And yeah, that's Family Center. Entertainment is next up, and this is where you've got well, there's a decent amount of stuff in here. First is Shop Entertainment. This is kind of the main store, per se, because this is where you can buy ringtones and themes and all sorts of stuff, some games in here, even additional applications. But if we go back here, you've got Disney Zone. This is where you could get access to Disney Radio, among a couple of other things. Again, we can't actually do anything here, but there it is, or there it was, rather. And you've got my ringtones, my themes, my images, my games, my applications, my subscriptions, and a web browser. So I'm going to bring in the other phone here as we go through these ringtones, because there are some different ringtones between these two. So we'll go in here, and I can also show you how the menus kind of look on the Pantech phone here, because they don't look exactly the same. Of course, you have the same options, but like if I go into Family Center, you can see that just the design of these menus, it looks a lot more basic. So yeah, there you go. Of course, different phone, different hardware, all of that. But we'll go into entertainment, we'll go into ringtones. So yeah, you can see there are some different ringtones here. You've got more on the Samsung phone here. There is a Disney Mobile ringtone, which is the same between these two. So we'll go ahead and play it on here. I think there's some Defunct Land content possibility here. Maybe Kevin could go through and figure out who made the Disney Mobile jingle this time. But yeah, so Disney Mobile, you've got Follow the Leader. You also have like Ring 1. I think these are just standard like ring sounds. Yeah, so it's Ring 2 here. Yeah, so these are probably... I don't know why they just named these 1 through 5 and they gave a name to everything else. Okay, there's kind of a more standard, traditional ring. And you would pick whichever one you want and you would assign it. And, you know, there you go. We can also view info. I wonder if they've got, like, okay, audio MP3. Okay, vendor Disney. Oh, look at that. That's awesome. So it actually tells you if it's preloaded or not. So let's verify that here. Let's go through all of these and see if they are... in fact, all standard ones preloaded. Okay. I know this one's definitely preloaded. Disney Mobile also has to be preloaded. Yep. Electro, preloaded. Granted Wish, preloaded. And Hawaiian Roller Coaster. Does not say preloaded, so maybe this one... Oh, wait a second. No, preloaded. It was just... it just was... this name went to an additional line. So this one here, let's view info on Follow the Leader. Let's see if it says... It does not say if it's preloaded or not on here. That's interesting. Let's try Disney Mobile, because this one definitely would have been preloaded. Okay, so the preloaded line has been removed. So, okay, we can't verify that on here. That is interesting. But we can see... Oh, okay, these are Samsung ringtones. Okay, that makes sense. So we can at least view the vendor. So, vendor Disney... Vendor Disney. This one's obviously the top one here is Vendor Disney. So these are all Samsung ringtones, which would have probably been standard on like all Samsung phones from this time. Yeah, that's me spending too much time on ringtones probably. Now themes, this is exciting because this is where you could kind of customize your phone a little bit. Of course, ringtones are also customization, but this is more visual customization. So Disney Mobile here is the theme that we already have applied. If we go over here to Mickey's Classmates, so this is kind of what that looks like. We'll just assign all of these and kind of go through them, and I'll do this on the Pantech phone as well. So Mickey's Classmates is applied, so this screen obviously doesn't change, but we go in here. Here's the new menu, so it changes to a bunch of Disney characters here instead of just those icons as we scroll through the list. And here's what the menus look like. So you got kind of that orange accent color now. Let's see what's next on the docket. We've got Penny Lane, so we'll apply this one. Ooh, we got some, look at that font, oh my gosh. So yeah, you got kind of some pink accent color stuff going on, although it's green here. Okay, and let's go vibin', guys. Let's vibe it up in here. That's definitely a vibe. Is this a Disney theme? It is. So all these themes were created by Disney, none from Samsung in here. I don't really know what this is supposed to be, but it's definitely a vibe, that's for sure. So messaging, you've got kind of that same blue accent color that we saw in the first one. I'm going to actually apply Mickey's Classmates because this seems like the most Disney theme on here. So Mickey's Classmates assigned. And while we're on the topic of themes, let me swap over to our good old Pantech Disney Mobile phone here. And we'll jump back and, whoops, I almost played that ringtone again. We'll go to Theme It. So you see some of the menu options have different names as well between these phones. And we've got more themes in here. You've also got an Epcot theme too. So Disney Mobile should be the one that we currently have applied. Let's see if it gives us a preview here on this. Yes, it does. So there it is. We'll just back out of that. And we'll start with Bambi. This phone is definitely a lot slower than this one here. So I assume it has a... Oh, it's actually like timing. It's almost going to sleep while it's assigning this here. Theme Bambi assigned. Okay, so we'll back out of that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's see what the accent color is. Let's go into messaging here. Kind of looks like that same accent color. I wonder if that'll change between these themes here. What's the next one? Blizzard Beach. So there you go. And let's check the accent color here. It's blue again. So I'm going to guess that the accent color is probably not going to change between these themes here on this phone, which is kind of unfortunate. So Casey at Bats. And there we go. We'll just scroll through this briefly, and same accent color. I'm really excited to see this Epcot theme. Oh, look at that. This kind of looks like some concept art, actually. And you can see the font down there looks rather futuristic looking. It's kind of got that, I don't know, cyber tech look to it, if that makes any sense. And let's see what Extreme is. with the, oh, wait a sec. Oh, wait. Oh, whoa. There's way more themes than I thought. Okay. I didn't see the scroll bar over there. Yeah, there you go, man. Look at this extreme action going on. This is actually a pretty cool design, though, I gotta say. I like that gradient there, that green to blue kind of, yeah, that looks really neat. Though, accent color, it's the same. Floral fantasy. That's definitely a floral fantasy and got lots of flowers going on there. Really cool designs, though. I definitely like that artwork. And again, accent color is the same. So next up we have Mickey and Friends, which is the same theme we saw on the Samsung phone, but let's see how it compares. Oh, this does look different. Okay, this is way different. So yeah, let's see if it's the same character on each one. So Mickey, nope, it's not the same character. Okay, well Goofy's on Family Center. And yeah, okay, so there are some different character choices. That's interesting. So yeah, same named theme, but they are different, you know, variants of it here, which is neat. So yeah, and accent color? Nope. Yeah, I probably should have stopped checking at this point, but no, I'm not gonna do that because we've got one more theme: Small World concept art. And there you go. Definitely some cool looking concept art. And the moment of truth? Nope, it's the same. The same accent color. So yeah, those are all of the themes on the Pantech phone here. Now going into games, we do have some different games on these phones as well. We'll just stick here with the Pantech one for now to check out Nemo's Aquarium. Oh, free trial has expired. Press OK to launch in demo mode. I don't know what to expect here, but we've got aquarium options, help, credits, and okay, it's not registering me. Oh, maybe I can't go over anymore. Oh, no, I could. About. I had to hit that like 6 times. Alright, let's just go to aquarium then. Whoa, dude, the temperature needs to be turned down during the day, as the tank can get totally hot. Okay. Yeah, what on earth is this game gonna be? I like don't even know. Please wait. Is it gonna be like a block breaker game? A maze thing? What are we doing? Oh, it's still loading. Okay. Oh, so okay, I gotta turn the temperature down, I guess? Interact, mini game. Okay, so this is like is this like a click, like a point and click game, even though you can't actually click on anything? What is interact? Okay, feed fish. Oh, is it like just one of these where it's like a pocket kind of Tamagotchi sort of thing where you're like setting the temperature and, you know, interact with them and take care of them? Oh, and I guess it timed out. All right, well, I guess that's that. That is Nemo's Aquarium. Tetris demo is just Tetris. And what's Trivial Pursuit Disney demo? Continue with, oh, there's a game in progress? Holy cow. It's kept that all this time? Again, the screen's going to sleep. Okay, press to roll. Shake. Roll. Okay, we got a 4. Disney personalities, Disney music, Disney personnel. Oh, I guess I went back. Animated films, live action films and TV. Okay, let's do animated films. Who was the voice of the narrator? Oh, I don't even know. Holy cow. Okay, continue. Oh, you can, I guess, skip a question as well. I hit OK, and then like it didn't load the next screen. I hit OK again to make sure it registered, and then it just hit OK twice, and it selected the wrong answer. So yeah, that's going to be, yeah, there's definitely some delay in this, which is rather annoying. But yeah, it's a trivia game with Disney stuff. I mean, what more does there really need to be said? Oh yeah, and let's save the game for when I send these back to Ryan. Maybe he wants to finish the Disney mobile trivia game here. And it wants us to buy the full thing. We're not going to, of course, we can't even do that now. And yeah, so that's everything under games, aside from Tetris, which I'm not really going to demo because we all know what Tetris is, let's be honest. Let's move over and take a look at the games on the Samsung phone, which hopefully should be much more playable because this phone is just a lot better to use. So we've got Bejeweled, Block Breaker Deluxe, Lilo and Stitch, and Tetris. So it looks like all of these are just standard. Like Bejeweled, we can view info, Vendor Electronic Arts, Block Breaker Deluxe, Plan Demo, Tetris is going to say what? Plan Demo, Electronic Arts. Lilo and Stitch, Vendor M Disney. Okay. Do you want to play with sound? Is that even a question? Of course we do. It's nice that they give you the option to mute it if you're like in a, I don't know, office waiting room, like for a doctor's office or something. And you want to play your Lilo and Stitch game, but you don't want to like piss everyone off. Alright, let's play demo. Let's just go into this blind and see what this is. I don't even know. Press down or 8 to climb down. Okay. Oh, I could use the numpad? That's actually much better, I think. Okay, climb down. Great. Press up or 2 to climb up. Great. Press left or 4 to switch sides. Great. Left, jump left. Okay, so it's a jumping game. So this is like just a tutorial thing. And can we skip this? I guess not. Oh, tutorial complete. Okay. I guess that's what that was. So it seems like your goal is to stop these things from, like, climbing up to the top. And I just died there, unfortunately. No! 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 Oh, wow, I actually did that. Oh, okay. I guess I just beat the level. But yeah, so that's your Lilo and Stitch jumping game. We'll just exit out of that. And that is the only Disney game on here. Now, we did skip over My Images, but it's just where you can view pictures you've taken. My Applications will view anything that you've downloaded. Also views Disney Channel and Radio Disney in here, which of course won't actually work, but there they are. My Subscriptions would show anything that you had subscribed to, which it just says connection failed, of course. And you've got a web browser as well. Which we can't actually use, but you know, if you ever wanted to browse, you know, a bunch of WAP pages on, gosh, that was always a, if you, first of all, it always costs like way too much, but even if you were able to do it, it just was not a pleasant experience, browsing the internet with, just using WAP pages. But yeah, so if we go into Toolbox here, we do have some like utilities and stuff. Camera here, this is really cool. So camera does have some Disney flair going on. Let me go into options here, and you can add a frame, right? And this is where you just have a bunch of Disney frames you can choose from. And so let me just take an awesome photo of Eddie here. And there we go. It's saving the photo into the gallery. And look at that photo. Isn't that awesome? We'll just back out of that. But yeah, you've got a few themes here, or filters rather, to go through, which is, or frames. I said the wrong name twice. But yeah, you've got a bunch of these in here to scroll through, which is cool. You got even one from The Incredibles. And you do have, you know, some on this as well. On this, they're just labeled Disney Frame 1 through 18. So these, they actually have names, which is nice. We do have some of the same frames. As you can see, this one here is the same between these two. Yeah, but there you go. You've got a bunch of Disney frames to add to your photos. You can have a little bit of fun that way. And you got kind of standard stuff like a voice recorder. We go into tools here. You've got, you know, Bluetooth options, calculator, alarm clock, notepad, kind of your standard set of utilities that you would have on a phone, pretty much like any flip phone from this time, and your settings stuff. But yeah, there you have it, guys. That is pretty much all that we can look at on these phones. So that's Disney Mobile. That's what it would have been like to experience these phones back in 2006, 2007, when the service was in its prime, that great 18-month run it had. I'm sure Disney was really happy about that. But no, seriously, they were probably much happier that this service performed much better in Japan. So, you know, good for them. Disney certainly needs more money, as we all know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, all that good stuff. I want to give a huge thank you to Ryan for lending me both of these phones for this video. It was really, really generous of you. So thank you for making this video possible. And thanks to all of you guys for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next video.